It took a little while for the Golden State Warriors to feel it at home inside their San Jose arena. They lost 6 of their first 7 here, but the Warriors have won their last 3 home games. They'll try to make it 4 tonight, but it will be a difficult assignment as one of the top teams from the Eastern Conference is in. It's the Warriors and the Indiana Pacers. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to an evening of Golden State Warriors basketball on Sports Channel with Jim Barnett. I'm Greg Papa. It's been a very up-and-down week for the Warriors, Jim. A 28-point win over the Portland Trail Blazers here on Sunday afternoon. They came back on Tuesday night and won here over the Denver Nuggets by 15 points. But then the very next night, they collapsed in Phoenix, were beaten by the then 1-14 Phoenix Suns by 31 points. The common denominator in the 3 games, rebounding. When the Warriors won, they rebounded the basketball, Jim. When they lost by 31, they were badly out-rebounded by Phoenix.
Well, I think it may be a theme this year that the Warriors are going to be inconsistent. They're going to beat some very good teams, but they're also going to fall flat as they did in Phoenix. But it's remarkable they could accumulate 57 rebounds against the best rebounding team in the NBA, the Portland Trail Blazers, and also they did a great job against the New Jersey Nets. And then against the Nuggets, they out-rebound them, but then they only managed 39 rebounds against the Phoenix Suns on Wednesday night. And tonight, they are meeting a very big front line. And you start with Antonio Davis, who comes off the bench and gives you almost double-digit scoring and over 7 rebounds a game. And Dale Davis, who's number 10 in the NBA in rebounding, always a tough competitor. These guys are bruisers, they're bangers, and they make it very tough on the interior.
Indiana very strong defensively, very strong rebounding, yet a mediocre record. They come in with a record of 7-8. They have won their last 4, Jim. They have lost Rick Smits for the entire year, so all of the scoring burden really falls on the shoulders of Reggie Miller. We're going to have a juicy matchup tonight at the off-guard position. When Reggie Miller signed his big contract with the Indiana Pacers shortly before the season began, he was quoted as saying, by the way, quoted numerous times in Indianapolis as saying that he is the second best off-guard in the NBA behind Michael Jordan. Latrell Sprewell also plays that position. That could be fun.
Well, this year I think Latrell holds that with all the stats that he has and what he's done. But Reggie Miller is so tough because the entire offense is run thinking of Reggie Miller as taking the shot. They run him off a lot of screens. They look for him to shoot from long range. His career numbers against the Warriors are way down. And that's part and due in part because of the tremendous defense and the pressure put on by Latrell Sprewell. But if he is left open, he will get the ball in his hands and he will normally knock that down. And remember what he's doing over the last 5 games. He had 36 2 nights ago. He's shooting 61% over the last 5 games. Right now, he is looking to make a statement.
The question is, does Spree have the energy to run through all those picks, chase Reggie around the floor, and also score tonight for the Warriors? We asked him about that earlier.
Well, I hope so. We'll see. I'm in great shape, so I think I have the energy. It's just a matter of having my teammates help me defensively. I'm not going to be able to do it by myself. When he curls off these big guys, our big guys have to step up and bump him and things like that, so he doesn't get easy baskets on me. But I feel like I'll be okay. And if I'm having a good night offensively, then I'll take it. If not, then I'll just have to struggle through it.
Pacers are 7-8, as we said. The Warriors are 6-12. We'll come back with the starting lineups and the opening tip, but we're going to come back from this break and head back inside our studios in San Francisco and check in with Brian.
Golden State Warriors basketball on Sports Channel is brought to you by Chrysler. Take a test drive at your Northern California Chrysler Plymouth dealers today. By Southwest Airlines, with fares so low you...
He is 2 victories away from a grand total of 1,000 throughout his career, not only his 14 years in the NBA, but the years he spent in the ABA and the years in college, both at Kansas, where he won the national championship, and UCLA, where he went to the Final Four. Warrior lineup remains the same. Chris Mullin, small forward. Joe Smith, power forward. Felton Spencer at center. And in the backcourt, it is Mark Price at point guard and Latrell Sprewell at the off-guard position. Rick Adelman has coached precisely 100 basketball games with the Warriors. 42 wins, 58 losses. Warriors lost their 2-game winning streak in humbling fashion on Wednesday night in Phoenix when they were routed 118-87. The 31-point loss, their worst of the season. Eric Dampier, #1 draft pick of the Indiana Pacers. They took him number 10 overall, 1 spot ahead of the Warriors' choice at number 11 of Todd Fuller. The Warriors were privately hoping that Dampier would slip. He did not slip. Indiana grabbed him, Jim, And with Rick Smits out to injury, he has become the talk of Indianapolis. He's a little raw offensively, but man, is he good defensively.
He's an early entry candidate. He was surprising with Mississippi State last year as they went to the Final Four. And Larry Brown says he's got the best hands of any big man I've ever coached. Now that is quite a statement because Larry Brown has been all around the globe.
Dale Davis will jump it against Felton Spencer, Bill Oakes, David Jones, and Mark Wunderlich. Our officials assigned by the NBA. The Warriors win the tip. They go first at 6-12. And the Indiana Pacers, riding a 4-game winning streak, are 7-8. This is game 3 of a 6-game road trip for the Pacers. They have won the first 2. Sprewell on the miss, gets the retrieve out to Mark Price. Chris Mullin from the corner. Rebound pulled by Derek McKee. Here's Travis Best, their new point guard. They traded Mark Jackson over the summer to Denver. Show of faith in Travis Best. Traveling violation on Dampier.
Well, Travis Best played well towards the end of last year, but now with Haywood Workman out with an ACL injury, a lot of responsibility rides on his shoulders. He is playing better the last couple of games. 7 assists 2 nights ago against Vancouver.
Mark Price with the miss. Rebound pulled by the rugged Dale Davis. Like Reggie Miller and Antonio Davis, who will play off the bench, they were all given multi-year contract extensions this past offseason. They were all free agents. In fact, the two Davises got 7-year deals, and Reggie a 4-year deal with a 5th-year option for Indiana. Rebound out of bounds, tipped out off of Felton Spencer.
I think a lot of people were surprised that they managed to keep both Davis kids under contract. It cost them a lot of money, but they feel they're worth it.
They gave Dale $42 million. They gave Antonio $38.5 million. They gave Reggie $36 million guaranteed. Added up. Wow. Warriors steal it. Sprewell all the way to the goal. Finally breaks the scoring steal tonight, almost 90 seconds into it.
Yep, the proper play was to kick it out to Mullin. There were 2 defenders back, but Sprewell has such uncanny ability to get right to the rim, or very close, that you just don't need it.
Travis Best, good outside shooter, misses there. Long rebound Felton Spencer cannot get to. That's the second ball he's lost over the end line. Felton Spencer playing much better lately, although he was in foul trouble for most of that Phoenix game. Travis Best able to rattle it down. He is the Pacers' second leading scorer at 12 points a game. Knickerbockers snapping Miami's long winning streak with an impressive win tonight at Miami Arena. And the Miami Heat will be taking on the Bulls tomorrow night. San Antonio played that game tonight without David Robinson. He will not play here on Sunday. He needs more testing on Monday. Reggie Miller slips down as Dampier commits his second turnover. This one may not be his personally, but he threw it too high and to the wrong side for Reggie Miller. And they do give it to Dampier. He does have 2 early turnovers tonight. He is offensively very raw. It's going to be a long night for Joe Smith, you would think, Jim. In order to have a big offensive game, he's going to have to really work as Travis Best is called for a foul.
Well, a moment ago, watch Chris Mullin on this side as Sprewell goes to the basket. Not many people have this much confidence. He goes against 2 defenders. Now, Mullin was poised for a 3-point field goal attempt. It was not a selfish move by Sprewell. He saw a little bit of an opening, but not many people in this league could take advantage of such a narrow opening.
The Warriors really need Sprewell to score tonight. You would think that he's going to be expending so much energy trying to hold Reggie Miller down. That's a rough ratio, 1-6 there for Joe Smith.
I think the matchup between Miller and Sprewell is about as good as it gets in basketball. I think there is a little unwritten and unverbalized rivalry between the 2.
And sometimes it is verbalized. Here goes Dale Davis trying to go up, and Dale scores. Dale has worked a little on his offense over the summer, but he's not known as a scorer.
I'm sorry, but he's the best offensive rebounder. And if you do one thing tonight with Dale Davis is you block him off the boards and don't let him get putbacks like that.
Mullin over Derek McKee. McKee usually gives Mullin fits. He's a great defender. And he matches up very well with Chris.
Sprewell made 2 bounce passes already, cross-lane skip passes, and they were the proper pass to make.
Here's Miller getting inside and drawing a foul as he's been working along that baseline against Sprewell. Foul is on the help defense of Joe Smith.
Well, that's what happens when you overplay and you try to prevent someone from catching the ball. Now, see, Sprewell is trying to prevent Reggie Miller. All of a sudden, he gets a back pick, and he's a half a step late. And this is where the defender who is guarding the man setting the pick has to bump Reggie Miller and certainly has to talk to Luttrell.
Reggie Miller's a gifted scorer, 22.5 points a game this year, number 9 in the league. He's a career 19.5 scorer. But I don't know of any team in the NBA, Jim, that works as hard or as effectively to get a guy shots as the Indiana Pacers do for Reggie Miller.
They know who is the bread and butter. It's as simple as that. They don't have a lot of scorers from the perimeter.
Actually, from outside, Best is one of their few scorers, and he may be leaving the game now. He just pushed Mark Price in the back, and he picked up his second foul. That will not endear him to Larry Brown. Larry, who was a point guard in his collegiate days in North Carolina, and a very good ABA point guard, is very hard on Travis Best. Mullen misses. Mullen looks back at the referee, David Jones. He felt he was fouled. Indiana plays a rugged Eastern style, especially with the Davises and Dampier. They will beat you up. Here's a 20-second timeout called by Coach Brown.
Well, not surprising in a low-scoring affair so far.
But what is surprising is Chris Mullen, the NBA's number 3 floor shooter, at 57%, is 0 for 4 from the floor.
Watch him get bumped here. Now, there's a little bump. He recovers and gets the ball. He tries to get Best up in the air. He does that. Best did get pretty thin coming down and avoided picking up his third foul. Chris didn't protest too much.
To finish earlier thought about Sprewell, does he have the energy to score 25 tonight and also guard Reggie Miller? Well, he's going to have to, because you look at some of the matchups along the front line. It's going to be tough for Mullen to score on Derek McKee.
Yes.
It's going to be tough for Joe Smith to score on either Dale or Antonio Davis. It's going to be very tough for any center the Warriors put out there to throw on to score on Eric Dampier. Jerome Allen is now in for Larry Brown. He's their backup point guard, played with the Timberwolves last year. He takes over for Travis Best, who was forced off the floor with 2 fouls in the game's first 3.5 minutes. Mullen slaps it away from McKee. It's a clean play out of bounds. Shot clock down to 4 for the Pacers.
I don't think I've seen Chris Mullen play better defense than this year. Played it against Clifford Robinson. He played it against Dale Ellis, and now he's going against a tough matchup with McKee.
You have to wonder why the Pacers threw the ball to Dampier on that inbounds play. He was forced to shoot. Sprewell looks around, open, misses. Joe Smith, good offensive rebound against the rookie Dampier.
Don't want to be in too much of a hurry. You know, just it'll come to you.
They double team Sprewell. Joe Smith left open on the pick and roll. The ball never came back to him.
You notice how every time you come off a pick, though, you get bumped? Davis jumped out of Spree, but he bumped him.
And Derek McKee drives one down. Derek McKee has had a maddening season. They would like him to be much more offensively aggressive, but it's just not in his makeup. He is their 6th leading scorer, under 9 points a game, even though Rick Smits is out.
And he's under 40% from the field.
Warriors' second hoop of the game is scored by Felton Spencer. Unfortunately, though, Jim, it's on their 10th shot.
Well, Spencer might be one of their go-to guys tonight with Dampier on the floor. He's had trouble defending veteran centers because he just gets a little off balance and is not sure what the officials will allow. That's a good bump by Spencer. You see, there was a foul there. They didn't call it because that's the way Indiana plays, so you're going to get a little leeway yourself.
Mullen the 3. Chris is 0 for 5. Felton Spencer, the offensive rebound. Pass he was trying to throw to Price was taken away by Joe. Good idea. That was a dangerous cross-court pass. Mullen gets by McKee this time, but cannot score. A foul has been called on the Indiana Pacers. It comes with 5 minutes and 20 seconds to play in this opening quarter, and the Pacers leading by a basket.
Why wait until Sunday to find out what Ditka thinks about the NFL?
But let me tell you something. These guys are garbage. That's simple. This guy's a loser.
Mike Ditka is part of the team of Sports Channel's Pro Football Weekly magazine.
Before heading east next week, the Warriors take on the San Antonio Spurs here on Sunday night. And now the new news is that David Robinson will not play in that game. There were some reports that David would be activated today and play tonight against the Vancouver Grizzlies. but they want to wait, hold him out of both games, and they're going to perform more tests on David on Monday. We'll have that game for you on Sports Channel at 5 o'clock on Sunday, Jim.
Well, fortunately, you don't have a David Robinson. Now, see Spencer on this move against Dale Davis. A little bit of a bump. You put your arms up like you're going up straight, but he does get a little physical with him, and just that little bump enabled him to defend the basket a little tougher.
Yeah, I think the Warrior big players are going to have to adapt. They're beating up Chris Mullin. Derek McKee has been. Indiana, what hits you right between the eyes about this team is they are huge, and they know how to use their bodies.
They play like a Pat Riley team, and Larry Brown has always had the hallmark of defense. And he knows what you can get away with. He has been around a long time. And he teaches it to his players. By the way, they're not dirty. They're just tough physically, and they battle for every inch of space the closer you get to the basket.
Dale Davis, who may be the toughest, able to slip one in. He has 4 points on a couple of hoops. Joe Smith over Dale Davis scores.
You would think tonight it would be important for the Warriors to hit a good percentage from the perimeter, because the majority of their shots are going to come from there in all likelihood.
They have started it coolly tonight, just 3 out of 12. Reggie Miller's first shot is an air ball. 3-on-1 Warriors. Sprewell goes right at rookie Jerome, or actually second-year pro Jerome Allen, first-year Pacer, and he's called for the foul.
Well, Allen's a very good defender. But again, I've said it so many times in the past, when you go one-on-one at a guy and you're getting backing up on his heels, it's impossible to stop a guy with the offensive prowess that Sprewell has. This guy, as you're looking at right there, Jerome Allen, was a number 49 pick. Played with Minnesota last year, but really doesn't cut it offensively. Shot only 34% on the year.
2 of the top 4 backcourt scorers in the NBA will be dueling tonight. Latrell Sprewell with a career-high scoring average of 24.8. And Reggie Miller up to 22.5. Reggie's career high, 24.6 back in the 89-90 season. Reggie comes in a real roll. He had 36 at Vancouver on Wednesday, 32 the previous game in Portland. Both Indiana victories to begin this road trip.
I mentioned he's shooting 61% last 5 games, including 47% from three-point range.
Jerome Allen the miss. Warriors and Pacers tied at 10. We are 6.5 minutes into the game. Joe Smith short, rebound to Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller shot the ball only 1 time, that air ball to the baseline a moment ago. At this point of the game on Wednesday in Vancouver, he already had 19 points.
Sprewell's dogging him. I mean, he's absolutely dogging him.
Derek McKee, and Dale Davis will hammer it.
You know, forget the offense tonight. If you want to watch a matchup, just watch Sprewell play Reggie Miller defensively. I mean, it is a work of art, and it is going to get very physical before the night's over.
Here goes Price all the way to the bucket, able to get by Jerome Allen. None of those big Pacers in the paint stopped him at all. Mark Price knows a lot about facing the Pacers. His years as a Cavalier in the Eastern Conference prepared him. Good defense by Sprewell, tipped it away. Now Reggie's too far away to take a fade over him.
Look at Spencer help out. They make him rotate it.
Jerome Allen, a 3-point goal. Jerome, not a very good outside shooter, missed his first 2 tonight. Warriors look for the lead. Felton Spencer goes right through. Nice pass by Mark Price.
Could that be his first fast break basket? I don't recall him running the floor like that before. I'm talking about not the game, the season. Now Davis has had 2 or 3 dunks.
There was Derek McKee slipping it into Dampier, the rookie, and the game is tied at 14. For Dampier, that's his first basket of the game. Offensively raw, but defensively, they think he could be a great shot blocker. Dale Davis picks up the foul on the rotating defense for Dale, his first of the game. Felton Spencer still playing with that wrap on the right thumb. He sprained that right thumb a couple of weeks ago. Here is the other Davis, Antonio. Went to McClymonds High School in Oakland, then on to the University of Texas El Paso, where he played with Tim Hardaway. He's going to take out Dampier. Antonio Davis played college. At college, he played some center, Jim, and now he's playing center.
Those are more than decent numbers of Felton Spencer the last 3 games. A little over 20 minutes a game. You see his rebounding and points that is really above his career average per minute played.
What were you chuckling about?
I was laughing because I got Dampier mixed up with Davis.
Easy to do.
Because Dampier looks older than a rookie.
Fouls on Sprewell, his first foul of the game. And we're going to have a timeout called by Larry Brown. 3.5 to go in this first quarter. Spree's done his job. Reggie Miller has not yet scored. Just a couple of free throws. Well, the Golden State Warriors surprised the entire nation this past week when their owner, Chris Cohan, said the team is proposing a new financing plan for the rebuilding of the Oakland Coliseum Arena that would not require the dreaded personal seat licenses to be used. No PSL is the chant in Warrior land right now. What does it all mean to the fans? What does it mean to you trying to come down and watch the Warriors next year? Here's the Warriors Director of Marketing, Jim Rogers.
Chris wants to do something that is the most exciting NBA basketball venue in America. And it looks like it's going to be something where the people of the Bay Area have a very bad taste in their mouth about the PSLs. And while we feel that we would have been able to sell PSLs because it would have only been for the best seats in the house, it probably is just a better idea all the way around for people to just pay a single ticket price. You're looking at pricing in the lower bowl from $35 to $55 in the non-club sections, $75 to $90 in the club sections. And upstairs, our ticket prices will range from about $10 to about $45 in the upper level.
Well, the way it's going to work basically is Mr. Cohan will lay out the money and they won't have to use PSLs, and then he'll hope to recoup that money by managing the new Oakland Coliseum Arena. It tells me a couple of things, Jim. One, that it's not going to cost as much next year to come watch the Warriors, at least as far as laying out the money for the PSLs. And secondly, I think Chris Cohan's going to own the Warriors for a long, long time. And
yeah, there's a big commitment there. I think it's sound business philosophy. First of all, it does reduce the financial burden of the taxpayers in the Bay Area, but also he can make it a profitable venture, you know, running all the events in the Coliseum. And you know what? He's a businessman. He's proven his success. I think it is very fundamentally sound.
And it certainly is forward thinking. Not many teams, if any, around the nation have proposed not going this route. PSLs appear to be the wave of the future, unfortunately, and now maybe they will not be. Good news there. Boy, this game is spicing up. Out of bounds, it's off of Joe Smith. The Pacers keep the basketball. We have 2:41 to go in this first quarter. It looks like it's going to be a Pacers style of game as far as points. It's only 16 to 14 for Indiana.
Nothing comes free against the Pacers, and every rebound is fought for with 2 or 3 Indiana people inside.
Reggie Miller only has 2 free throws. He is 0 for 3 from the floor. Here's Antonio Davis. Of the 2 Davises, he is the more offensively gifted.
Yes.
Although Dale has scored 8 points and he's pulled 6 rebounds, he has been the dominant player in the game so far.
He doesn't have the range that Antonio has. McClymonds High School, Oakland native.
Illegal defense here on Dale Davis. Dale just kind of hanging in the middle of the lane. More changes for Indiana. Rick Adelman looks out there and sees one defender leaving, another one coming in. Here's Vincent Askew, the longtime Seattle Supersonic and a former Warrior. They picked up Askew from the New Jersey Nets in an early season deal this year. He replaces Derek McKee. Warriors having a hard time with the shots tonight. Mullins 0 for 5, Smith 1 for 3, Price 1 for 4, Sprewell 1 for 3. Here's a charge on the Pacers.
You don't think Davis is pretty tough, do you? He lays Spencer and Mullins out. One guy hits 2, and Mullins seems to be a little hurt. He's getting up very slowly. See, there's a pass, though, that shouldn't be thrown. That pass should have never been thrown to a big guy running down the middle in traffic. He's got to think about catching the ball, controlling the ball, and avoiding anybody. That's too much to ask.
Adelman looking for something. Someone who can shoot the ball tonight. Will pull Mark Price out. Price had missed 3 of his 4 shots. He goes to V.J. Armstrong. Warriors 29% shooting. Indiana only 38%. Sprewell up over Reggie Miller. That's the big difference in their matchups, and that's why I think Sprewell's the better player. He can't guard Sprewell nearly as well as Sprewell can guard him.
No, and the big advantage Latrell Sprewell has is he will get a lot of points in the open court, fast break opportunities, and score in a different fashion than Reggie. Reggie does it in the half-court set when he runs off the 1 and 2 picks.
Technical foul. Sprewell got 1, and a technical has also been called. Yeah, the technical's on Reggie Miller. That's what I thought. Let's take a look and see.
There's no talking. It's just physical. There's the bump. Now we're going to see a little retaliation. Wasn't much retaliation. There may have been something before that from Reggie, but you know, they're competitors. It's very natural. And you know what? Reggie Miller, 0 for 3. You get a little frustrated. They're working at both ends. I love it.
Reggie Miller has been shooting erratically this year. Overall, he's at 46% from the floor, but extremely hot in their last 4 games.
Now those technicals, I thought they were pretty chintzy, if you ask me, but they were trying to make a statement, the officials are, just to slow it down right now and get control of it.
Off of Reggie Miller, Sprewell locks him up again. The San Jose Arena really getting into it now. They know they're watching something special.
Yes.
Dwayne Farrell, who has given Indiana needed offense off the bench in light of the Rick Smits injury. He comes in. Look at this one-on-one defense here.
You can't get any better than that. No, and Reggie even put an elbow into Spree to try to create some space and couldn't get away with it. They haven't said a word to each other yet, Greg. There's no talking. It's just all action.
Fouls on Reggie Miller. Reggie thought it was going to be offensive against Sprewell. Reggie Miller was out early tonight. I don't know if it's the fact that he's in the San Jose Arena for the first time in his life, but he normally comes out late to shoot. He was out very, very early, well before his teammates came.
There's the hand.
Little handshake.
It seems pretty innocuous to me, very harmless.
Put Sprewell on the line. I think the referees are making a statement with that call that they want those 2 guys to have a nice, clean game tonight.
Sprewell, who's been shooting his free throws so well, missed 2 the other night. Now he's missed 2 already tonight. He's only 2 for 4.
Warriors from the line tonight, a very surprising 5 out of 10. And Sprewell's missed 2 out of 3 himself.
And in a low-scoring game, that can come back to haunt you.
Wonder if we have time to go back and edit our Warriors TV roundtable. We were in the studio today with Bimbo Coles. We talked about what a great free throwing club they are, Jim. We got to get improvement here. We're going to look awful silly when this thing runs.
It won't change that drastically.
Miller lost the ball. Sprewell, what a catch! Touchdown!
Folks, you're speechless. I'm spellbound because that is something special. To catch the ball, he didn't even take a dribble. I'll tell you, that's one of the great plays this year, folks.
And right back, they score on the other end.
And I'm not a big advocate of a guy dunking the ball, but that was a spectacular athletic play. That's a highlight.
I thought the play was good. I was more impressed with the fact you couldn't get anything out. He brought you to stammering there, Jim. That's hard to do.
I'll tell you, I enjoyed that.
20-20 vision here. We're tied at 20 late in the quarter. Shot clock down to 5. A little switch here. Armstrong against Reggie Miller. Banks it down. They go back to the Bull-Pacer rivalry. Reggie used to always get the Bulls angered from midcourt. Jalen Rose! We're going to have fun tonight. This looks like a real battle. The Pacers get out of the first quarter with a lead of 23-22. Coliseum Arena and no PSLs, but don't forget to come down and join us this year at the San Jose Arena. Call the folks at Bass 510-762-VAS. The San Antonio Spurs will be here Sunday at 5 o'clock.
Remember I said earlier that Reggie Miller could not score the way Sprewell does in the open court. Reggie Miller probably couldn't make this kind of play. Sprewell can do that, and let me tell you, folks, that was spectacular. Great pass from Smith, but a great way to finish the quarter for the Pacers, and in particular Jalen Rose as he drains about a 52-footer. That's a long putt.
We didn't have time to even tell you Jalen was in the game. Reggie Miller now, as he usually does, will take the first part of the first quarter off. Reggie did not score a basket in the first 12 minutes. 0 for 3 floor. Did make a couple of free throws. Larry Brown has already used 10 players as he's played 5 players off the bench. The only Warrior player off the bench into the game so far, B.J. Armstrong. That changes now as Donald Royal and Andrew DeClercq check in. Eric McKee, starting small forward for the Pacers, back in. And he misses over Royal. Warriors are playing an Armstrong-Sprewell backcourt. A front line of Royal, Smith, and DeClercq. Sprewell into Andrew DeClerc. Reverse lay-in. Beautifully done by Andrew.
I'd like to see him get on the board early. I think it just helps his game. This is a tough matchup for BJ. Now, if they post up Jalen Rose, it could be a little trouble. They list him at 6'8". I think he's more about 6'6 and a half to 6'7", but so far he's been content to stay outside.
Here's Dwayne Farrell. He has been just terrific for the Indiana Pacers this year. He is their third top scorer. Almost 11 points a game.
I think he's having his best season in about the last 4. In the early 90s, had some pretty good double-digit scoring years with the Atlanta Hawks, but off the bench, he's doing a great job this year.
Royal knocks it down. I wonder how many minutes Sprewell will play while Reggie Miller is resting. Chris Mullin is going to check back into the game momentarily. Reggie's going to really wear Sprewell out on both ends. It may be a good idea to rest him when Miller's not in the game.
Good point.
Farrell with a terrible shot. Rebound. Derek McKee was going to try to tip it off of Joe. And apparently he did do that. It's out of bounds off of Joe Smith. Mullin's back in. Let's see who leaves. Yes, Sprewell's going to have to take his rest when Reggie Miller is on the Indiana bench. Reggie Miller had a very serious look about him as he warmed up before the game. When we chatted with Sprewell before the game, he had a gleam in his eye, and he used the word fun to describe the matchup tonight. Quietly, Latrell Sprewell is oozing with confidence against just about everybody. Jalen Rose knocks it down. Rose has not had a very good first year for Larry Brown. The coach has been very hard on him. His lack of defense has been most disturbing. Here's Farrell giving it up to Askew. Askew's played well since the trade. Derek McKee trying to be more offensive in thought tonight, Jim, as he spun and fired, missed it. Fouls on Jalen Rose trying to retrieve the missed shot. They got Jalen Rose away from Denver in the Mark Jackson trade.
Great effort here by Andrew DeClerc. He had both hands on the ball. Jalen came underneath, and a good call by the officials. Now, if Andrew doesn't capture that ball, it would probably be over the back, but he had possession.
Joe Smith's played the whole way so far in the game. Going to match up with McKee. Right by him. A much better matchup for Joe against Derek McKee than either of the two Davises.
Yeah, most certainly. McKee is not nearly as physical. He's more of a finesse defender, and Dale Davis will bang him.
Vincent Askew, not much of a shooter, but he rails a three-point shot.
He's improved that. He went to Seattle, and he's a guy that can get streaky on you, but you'd rather have him shoot it than some of the other guys, particularly Reggie Miller.
That's Askew's third 3 of the year. He's 3 for 8. Tough fade by Joe, barely grazed the rim. Rebound pulled by Dwayne Farrell. Askew to Farrell. He's a deadly shooter. That time he missed it, but pulled by McKee. Rebounding will be a big story tonight, folks. Askew scores.
That's where Askew's effective.
Indiana has a rebounding edge already of 7, 18 to 11.
They are the second best offensive rebounding team in the NBA, next to the Blazers. Second best, or excuse me, defensive rebounding team.
And they are tied for 6th best overall in the league. There's Joe. Oh, nice improvise, as he had to work away from the hoop a little deeper than he thought, Jim, against the bodying of Antonio Davis.
And the ball got deflected. He just stayed with it.
32 to 30. Indiana by a hoop. 3.5 gone second quarter. They double Derek McKee. Dwayne Farrell is wide open. That's where Derek McKee can really help you offensively. He's so good down low. He demands a double team, and he's a very good passer out of the double team.
He's almost unselfish to a fault.
Well, Smith is spun down to the floor, but he's fouled. Foul's called on the Pacers inside. Eric Dampier, their #1 draft pick. Jim was chuckling before about how old this guy looks. He looks a little older than 22 years old, doesn't he? Looks about 32. He's played in the ABA for years.
And he's an early entry candidate. Could be a senior still.
Where is he, in Europe somewhere? Donald Royal blocked by Dampier.
Dampier's had 10 blocks over the last 3 games, including 4 2 nights ago against Vancouver.
Here they huddle up like a football team. It is pronounced Dampier. It is not Dampier like Louis Dampier.
Right, the old shooting guard from Kentucky.
Free throw coming up for Donald Royal, trying to carve into this Pacer 4-point lead. Speaking of football, join us tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Sports Channel's Saturday Night NFL. Insights from Mike Ditka, Randy White, former great Cowboy, and Fred Edelstein, his personal picks. They'll preview all the weekend games. Both Bay Area teams will be home this weekend. The Niners on Sunday and the Raiders for their big Monday nighter with the Chiefs. Royals 2 free throws give you 4. We are 4 minutes into the second quarter. Indiana up 34-32. Jalen Rose slipped down, gets up. He's a big guard, Jalen Rose. He's 6'8".
Yeah, he's 6'8", but he's not your typical point guard. I think that's the problem with Larry Brown this year. He's just not doing, and doesn't have all the point guard skills, although he did lead the Nuggets in assists last year at a little over 6.5 per game. But he's a little wild, and he doesn't make the best decisions, and he's a very inconsistent outside shooter.
Illegal defense called on the Warriors. In fact, we'll have a full timeout taken by, no, it's going to be a 20-second timeout, pardon me, 20-second timeout taken by Rick Adelman. Warriors down 2. Both clubs shooting at about 46% from the floor early in this one. And there you see the coach talking to Jalen Rose. They've been doing a lot of talking this year. The Warriors have the perfect gift for the sports fan on your list. Warrior 5-packs include 5 games for just $100. And there are 4 different plans to choose from. So call the Warriors at 986-2222 and get your 5-pack in time for the holidays. Can you believe the Christmas tree went up in the Papa house today already?
I can believe that.
A little early, December the 7th. This day will live in infamy, I think, Jeff. Putting the tree up so early. We're going to have needles all over
Today's
the carpet.
the 6th. Tomorrow's the 7th.
So let's say 7th, right? Oh, maybe you're right. Today's the 6th. My watch is wrong.
Yeah.
All right, tomorrow will live in infamy. Here's Vincent Askew into Jalen Rose. JJ's going to have a hard time with Jalen Rose. The Warriors don't double him. Nice cross-court pass to Pharrell, though. Out to Vincent Askew. Airballed that 3. And a rebound to Andrew DeClerc.
See, BJ did a smart thing. He played Jalen Rose early and didn't let him get real deep position. So Jalen couldn't shoot the ball from there. But he can, with that height advantage, pass over the top.
There's a whistle. No shot. Mullen fouled before by his former teammate, Vincent Askew.
They gave up Reggie Williams to New Jersey. New Jersey wanted offense. Larry Brown likes defense. Askew, the perfect trade for that. And for Reggie Williams going to New Jersey, that's perfect for them. So it's a win-win situation.
Although Reggie Williams was placed on the injured list yesterday with a stress fracture in his right leg. He's going to be out a couple of weeks. Donald Royal, he may help the Warriors in this matchup tonight. He knows the Pacers well from his years battling them in the Eastern Conference with the Orlando Magic. In fact, one year they went all the way to a 7th game in the Eastern Finals.
And it's the kind of game where he can score, because just like he did, he picked up a ball there that caromed off the corner of the
Andy Garcia is Jimmy the Saint.
side. It's that kind of hustle points.
Askew fires a 3 with a shot clock down to 1. Antonio Davis, no. The tip, no, but a foul inside on Felton Spencer. And that's his first foul of the game. Indiana with a 6-rebound edge at 19-13. We are midway through the second quarter. We are tied at 34. Brian Weber, one of my favorite people around the Bay Area. And tonight we look back, I think, on the most popular Warrior of recent time. It is time for tonight's Warriors 50 Years, 50 Stars selection, presented to you by the San Francisco Examiner, the afternoon paper. In the locker room, he was simply Newty. The effervescent Manute Bol, a 2-time Warrior. It was the first time that he was a Warrior. He really captured the imagination of the Bay Area with that long, lean, 7-foot 7-inch body out of the Sudan. He was known mainly for his shot blocking, but then he became a 3-point guy. I don't know how this all started. Don Nelson got him shooting 3-pointers to keep him happy offensively and also keep him back defensively, Jim. But when you look back on Manute Bol's career, you think of block shots and 3-pointers.
I remember the night he hit 3 3-pointers in a row to bring the Warriors back against the LA Lakers. He also blocked 7 shots in the playoffs in 1989, game 2 against Utah. How about this as a triple-double one time? Usually you think triple-double, the majority of it in points, but 10 points, 15 blocks, and 19 rebounds as a Washington Bullet in 1987. A lot of fun. A Dinka tribesman, how about this? Killing a lion with a spear when he was just a youngster.
And in the locker room, they all felt he could kill a lion with his free throws. Not the softest touch, but beyond the line, he can knock it down. Free throw by Antonio Davis. He got one of the two, and the Warriors are down a point midway through the second quarter. Travis Best is back in for Indiana. He's playing point guard. There's a foul on the rookie, Dampier, and that's his third foul. He's playing like a rookie tonight. He's only played 10 minutes, and he has 3 fouls. All right, Springwell's back in. Reggie Miller's back in. Let the fun begin once again.
Well, we know up to this point by that graphic, very clear who has had the upper hand. But things changed very quickly with Reggie Miller. Just ask the Knicks about that in the playoff game in 13 seconds.
Derek McKee back in for Indiana. Dampier, the rookie, with his third foul, forced off the floor. Reggie's had some incredible playoff moments. Like the other Reggie, he saved his best for the postseason. That game Jim referring to, he was able to almost single-handedly steal game 1 of that playoff series. And in the year before, that dizzying game 5 show he put on against Spike Lee.
25 points in the fourth quarter. Oh.
There's a foul. Another one on Felton Spencer, his second of the game. And last year, Reggie wasn't too bad in the playoffs again. You'll recall he injured himself late in the year, a very severe injury. Fractured his right eye socket, missed their last 4 regular season games, the first 4 of the playoffs, but he came back to play in that 5th and final game against Atlanta. And he was pretty good. He had 29 points. He scored 16 in the fourth quarter. Pacers would lose and were ousted in the first round last year. Miller picks up Sprewell. Armstrong over Travis Best. Rebound pulled by Derek McKee. Like Vincent Askew, a former Seattle Supersonic. There's Antonio barging in. They thought he traveled here. No call. It's out to Perrell.
The Warriors are playing the defense like they were before.
He still has not scored a basket. He's 0 for 4.
It's the same type of defense they were playing against Denver. They're really cutting things off inside right now.
Now switch. Travis Best picks up Sprewell. Travis Best playing with 2 fouls. Trying to get it back into Spree. No, BJ drives, stumbles, and he's going to get a pushing foul on Antonio Davis.
I thought initially Sprewell gave him the pass a little early. I think he could have gone deeper to the baseline. Then BJ might have had a 3-point shot, but Miller could recover. And as Miller was recovering, BJ went right down the middle. It looked like someone maybe stepped on his foot because all of a sudden he got that flat tire and just stood up on a dime.
Now, we talked about rebounding and how that has been a barometer of the Warriors' success or lack of success the last 3. I think B.J. Armstrong also is a barometer, Jim, and he scores well off the bench. Hey, Spike did make it tonight to get on Reggie's case.
I like that. No, when B.J. plays well off the bench, the Warriors usually play well. And, you know, he can't remember he made that shot with 2.4 seconds to go in that first quarter just prior to Jalen Rose's 3. That was an aggressive shot over good defense.
And for B.J. to play well, he needs to score. He has 6 tonight off the bench. Indiana, a 4 rebounding edge.
That's better, though, in the second quarter for the Warriors. Remember, they were down by 7 in the rebounding department.
It was 18-11 not too long ago. Now it's 20-17 for Indiana, although Dale Davis has been resting for a while.
Because B.J. told Donald Royal, just go on out. We have something else going here. I like Donald Royal against Reggie Miller posting up. BJ's got to clear through.
Shot clock down to 3 as Sprewell puts it over the backboard on the bounce. Dead ball rebound to the Pacers.
There was nowhere for Spree to go on the drive. He wanted to take him to the hole, but it was covered right and left by the other defenders guarding his own teammates.
It's going to be tough for the Warriors to score tonight, that's clear. Indiana's held the opponents to under 100 points in 10 straight and 13 of the 15 games they've played this year. Pretty impressive. Teams only average slightly better than 90 against them. Reggie Miller, finally his first basket with 4 minutes to go in the first half. He has his first hoop in his last game. By halftime, he had scored 31 points. But believe me, Lawrence Moten does not defend like Latrell Sprewell does. He lit up Moten and then later Anthony Peeler, who were guarding him or trying to guard him for Vancouver. Game tied at 38. VJ having a tough time beating Travis Best off the dribble. Spencer on the putback does not get the roll, but he does get the foul. Foul's on Derek McKee, his first.
Now, watch as Miller comes off this pick. Watch what Andrew DeClercq does. This is the way you've got to help and give teammates a little bit of help. See, a bump. Now, Sprewell then recovers. But watch what happens on the weak side again. Down low, Sprewell gets his eye on the ball, loses sight of Reggie Miller just for a moment. Knows he's in the vicinity, and that's all Reggie Miller needs. Just a little bit of space. It's a long three.
Joe Smith back in for the Warriors. Joe, 8 points on 3 of 6 shooting. Andrew DeClercq played with good energy tonight. 3 rebounds in 8 minutes. He is out. Mark Price comes back in, and B.J. Armstrong leads. Warriors having a very poor free throwing game. They're going to need free throws to hang tonight. Farrell gets an easy one, as the Warriors did not get back defensively.
You can't afford too many of those. You have to work too hard for your own baskets.
And now they trap, and they called a timeout as Mark Price was trapped up against the sideline. Early timeout here, 3.5 to go in the first half. It's a very slow and physical Eastern style of game, and that favors the Pacers. It is Final Four weekend in the South Bay, and we're going to have it for you right here on Sports Channel Sunday at 1 o'clock. Join us for the NCAA Women's National Championship in soccer. The Final Four pairings are set. North Carolina will take on Santa Clara, and Portland will take on Notre Dame. And the winners will advance to Sunday's championship, and we'll have it at 1 o'clock. Larry Brown and the Indiana Pacers, with Reggie Miller as their lead trigger man, have been close to the NBA Finals. Last year they went out in the first round, but the 2 previous years all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. Lost to New York 1 time, and then to Orlando the 2nd time.
Well, that was the first year when they lost to New York. I believe that was the first year for Larry Miller coaching the Indiana Pacers.
Larry Brown, yeah.
Larry Brown, Larry Miller. We're going to Utah. And they lost in Game 7, a very close Game 7.
This is Larry Brown's 4th year coaching the Indiana Pacers. Mark Price, a 3-pointer. And that did not touch anything, but the rebound does squirt over to Antonio Davis. He has already pulled 6 rebounds in 13 minutes off the bench. And 3 minutes to go in the half, Jim.
Past 2 seasons for Larry Brown, they've won 52 games. And that's the first time he did that 2 years ago. It was a Pacer record. No team had ever won 50 games.
Foul on Dwayne Farrell of Indiana, his 2nd of the game. And the Warriors' Mark Price will walk up the floor and shoot 2 free throws. A lot of rumors surrounding Larry Brown about with Jim Herrick being released at UCLA. He would return to UCLA. It purely isn't possible. Larry Brown is under contract to the Indiana Pacers for 3 more seasons, and they're not going to let him out of his deal.
Well, why should they? He is an elite coach. He's a tremendous coach at any level, quite frankly. He knows the game inside and out, and he loves it. He does like college basketball. Only coached for 2 years at UCLA. Pretty remarkable. When he was at Kansas, he was 35-4 one year. I think that was 86. They didn't win the NCAA. They won it when they were 27-11 back in '88 with Danny Manning.
Dwayne Farrell, and it's tipped in by Antonio Davis.
If you can get penetration to the basket and elude your man, you are going to draw another defender, and that's how you pick up offensive rebounds and putbacks. That's why it's important to penetrate, and especially if you can penetrate cleanly past your man.
Traveling on Felton Spencer as Felton got out of his realm a bit.
Larry Brown has them pressuring everywhere on the floor. They're in outright denial right now. Denying every pass. Doesn't matter who's catching or who's trying to receive.
Still a very tight game. Indiana only leads by 3 points. Here's a foul on Antonio Davis's first step. Foul's called on Felton Spencer, his 3rd.
Well, you can see this team misses the inside presence of Rick Smits, the scoring of Rick Smits, because the Warriors are in this game, and every point has been very difficult to come by, but with the Pacers, they just don't have a whole lot of offense on the floor at any given time.
Rick Smits had surgery on both feet to correct nerve damage. The surgery was not performed until September the 9th, 1 month before the opening of training camp.
Well, they kept thinking it would get better, and he actually had 2 incisions on each foot.
Wayne Farrell scores on the skip pass from Reggie Miller.
It was to correct some nerve damage inside, Greg, on Smith's foot. It wasn't bone damage or anything, or cartilage, but it was nerve damage. And one of the problems, they thought he was wearing too small a shoe. He was at size 17, now he's up to 19.
Indiana taking the game over a bit here late in the first half. They've opened up a 5-point lead, which is the largest of this very tight first half. Davis fumbles it. It rolls out to Jerome Allen. Shot clock at 10, plenty of time. Farrell from the corner. Dwayne Farrell has come in off of Larry Brown's bench and become the game's leading scorer. He has 10 points in 12 minutes. He has been a real godsend for this team.
Yes, he has. That's why I said he's having his best year in about last 4 or 5. He's really comfortable in this role now.
Mullen finally gets one down. Didn't go down smoothly. It rattled a bit, but Mullen will take it. He had missed his first 5 shots tonight. 46-41 Indiana. 48 seconds to go in the first half. Farrell's wide open in the corner. Vincent Askew drives right at the goal and gets fouled. Foul is called on Andrew DeClercq, his first. Askew will shoot 2 free throws. Jalen Rose back in for the Pacers. Former bad boy of the Michigan Fab 5 collegiate group. Askew has been very consistent since they picked him up via trade. He was a Warrior for a year and a half. And he went to Sacramento ever so briefly. In almost 4 full years he played for George Karl, but ran into problems in the postseason last year. Actually complained during the finals about playing time of all times. Mullen. Rebound Farrell. 30 seconds to go. Here's Askew.
They'll slow it up a little bit. They brought Jalen Rose back in for defense just to close out the half.
Ball tipped into the backcourt, but it was tipped by Mullen. No over and back. Shot clock down to 10. 16 seconds to go in the half. Jalen Rose. Charging. He is wildly out of control there.
So they didn't bring Jalen Rose in for offense. He hit the one as time expired in the first quarter to end the first quarter. But I said before, doesn't always make the best decisions. He just couldn't slow down. Andrew DeClercq got there in plenty of time.
Here's your last play of the first half. Mark Price into DeClercq out of bounds with 2.7 to go.
Just got to be
Price
ready.
may have had a shot there.
Yeah, but I think DeClercq has to bend his knees a little bit and be ready to catch that ball. He was looking for rebound position because he thought Price was going to shoot.
Mullen. DeClercq. Springwell, good move to get open, and he missed the shot. He was not open, but a quick bolting move around Farrell. Very tight defensive style of first half. Warriors score only 41 points, and Indiana gets 48. They lead by 7 at halftime. The sledding rough in that first half against the rugged interior defense of the Indiana Pacers. The Warriors could muster only 41 points, and they are down 7 at halftime. Greg Papa back inside the San Jose Arena, where they're all excited about no PSLs. No PSLs. You may be noticing here at halftime the Golden State Road Warriors are in action. There is the Olympian Trooper Johnson along with Chuck Gill, number 23, in the middle of the lane there. They are laying a hurt on the Seattle Supersonics wheelchair basketball team. Another busy summer for both Trooper and Chuck as they were in Atlanta this year for the Paralympics after winning a gold medal earlier. This time they had to settle for a bronze medal as they lost to Australia in the wheelchair basketball gold medal game. We talked to Trooper and Chuck about that earlier tonight.
It feels kind of like we fell short. You know, we had a goal to make, and we were all pretty much working really hard to come back with a gold medal, and we fell a little bit short on it. So.
What happened? What happened this time, Chuck? What's your take on it?
You know, we didn't adjust really well. We were down at Well, we were up by like 5 at halftime, right?
About 1 at halftime. We just went up by 1, and then the second half they came out and they started, you know, just putting a little bit together at a time, and they started pulling away. We pulled back by 1 with 2 minutes left to go, and we just couldn't finish the game off. So.
One of the guys just had like a career game against us. I mean, he just was really dominant. He was making inside shots, outside shots. It was really hard to stop and hard to match up at times. You know, we picked the wrong game to lag a little bit on defense.
Yeah, the whole team fell a little flat that game. And Australia, I mean, when any team comes out to play the United States, they're pumped. I mean, they are so excited just to be playing us. And our intensity was a little bit low, and they came out real fired up, and they kept their intensity throughout the game, and they pulled it away from us.
How's your intensity tonight? I know you guys are tired, just coming back from Europe. Where were you? Italy lately?
Yeah.
What was over there?
A trip to promote the 2004 bid for Rome for the Olympics and Paralympic Games. And it was a good trip, but coming back here, we're anxious to get the season started here in San Jose, and we're anxious to play bowling.
Chuck, you know, I got a chance to watch you guys play for the first time last year, and there were several things about the game that just startled me. The way you shoot three-pointers in particular, and just how physical the game is. Is that what you hear from people who check you guys out for the first time? They didn't realize just how much you guys get after each other?
Definitely. When they see it in person, on TV it looks a little bit slower, but when they see it in person, they hear the contact and they see, you know, the contact, and you know, especially us, you know, we're on the floor all the time. I mean, we're hustling and going out there and giving our all. So, you know, that's one of the things, and then also the speed of the game. And then, you know, after they sit there for a while, and then they notice that, hey, it's not just we're out there just, you know, scooting around. They see the strategy and everything that's involved in it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of strategy involved. In the three-point shooting, you got involved in a little three-point game with some of the Warriors recently, didn't you?
Yeah, we were playing a game of horse, and they took it from me. Spruill kept going deeper and deeper.
He backed you out to mid-court.
Oh, my gosh, he kept going back. I was like, holy cow, I couldn't even see the rim after a while. It was terrible.
But outside of Sprewell and Mullen and Price and some of the better shooters on this team, I bet you could hang with some of these guys, can't you?
Yeah, I probably could.
Oh, he's getting modest out of it now.
I don't know. You know, I have some days where I can shoot okay. So.
Yeah. Is it difficult to gear up for the schedule with the Golden State Road Warriors after the level of competition you were facing this summer, Trooper?
You know, it's kind of weird because the intensity level was so high for so long, and you have such a focus going into the Paralympics. I mean, for 4 years you've been focused on one competition, and everything's been building and building towards that. And then all of a sudden after the games, you kind of have a letdown because looking towards the next season, you know, it's not as, and it's hard to say, but it's not as important as the Paralympic Games just in the, you know, what the game is itself. But we're anxious to get back into it, and you know, we're looking forward to the season.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you guys back at work. Thank you for your time.
Thank you guys very much.
Road Warriors are going to be in action after the game tonight also, and they're going to have a tournament coming up over on the campus of San Jose State this weekend at the San Jose Events Center. Warriors are down at 7 against the Indiana Pacers at halftime. We'll come back, rejoin Jim, show you some of the first half highlights. Warriors scored only 22 in the first quarter, and then in the second quarter could only mustered up 19 as they shot only 40% in that first half. But Indiana, not the only club playing good defense. If we take a look at our Chrysler halftime highlights, Latrell Sprewell did a tremendous job on Reggie Miller.
Well, as we take a look at these highlights, you're going to see some dogged defense by Latrell Sprewell. Here's what you call face guarding. That's where they picked up the double technical. The officials trying to get it under control. But watch Sprewell work through a screen, work through another screen. They do that a lot with Reggie, and he makes a passer out of him. At the other end, Sprewell was very patient in this half-court set. A little up fake, gets Miller, throws him to the ground, and just shoots with his quickness. And you can see the matchup. Miller only 5 points on 1 for 6. That was a three-pointer that he did make. Sprewell 3 for 7, including a spectacular dunk in the open court. In the first quarter, it was all Indiana Pacers as far as the rebounding edge, particularly at the offensive end. They got 5 offensive rebounds in the first quarter alone and some easy putbacks. Now, the Warriors played them even as far as the rebounding position in the second quarter, but points are very difficult to come by. I thought the game changed when the Pacers went to their bench. Dwayne Farrell comes into the game, and right now he's the only guy in double-digit scoring. In 13 minutes, he's put up 10 points, and you can see the Pacers have more than doubled the bench output of the Warriors. And that's been really the difference in the game. And the big difference, too, for the Warriors is Mullen is 1 for 7. Mark Price is only 1 for 5. baskets are very difficult to come by against the tough defense of the Pacers.
And you really have to find someone to slow down Dwayne Farrell. I mean, you hope it's not Sprewell, because you want to leave Sprewell on Reggie Miller. But if Indiana gets that second offensive weapon going, and even if Miller has an off game, Farrell could pick it up for them, and they can score enough to still win this game.
Well, that's very possible, but you also wouldn't expect Reggie Miller to be contained the entire night. Somewhere along the way, he's going to get free and break loose for 8 or 10 points in all likelihood, no matter how good a defense Sprewell puts on him. But right now, Reggie Miller has been contained, and they've got to find something to stop Farrell. He is a good outside shooter. Davis, most of his points came, there was one little jumper, but 3 follow-up shots, including a couple of dunks.
Sprewell played 20 minutes in the first half. He was resting the 4 minutes that Miller was out. Miller, in fact, rested for 6 minutes in total. Warriors did not make a single three-pointer in this game, and that's very key against this team, because inside scoring is so difficult against the two Davises, McKee and Dampier. You need to stroke the basketball from outside to beat this team.
But Larry Brown is not letting the Warriors get some outside shots. I think that the defense even picked up more intensely in the second quarter as the Warriors were being guarded on the perimeter. In fact, they were outright denial, just trying to even rotate the ball.
Larry Brown will send out Travis Best at the point guard position, along with Reggie Miller. That's the Indiana backcourt. The front line is Derek McKee, Dale Davis, and the rookie Eric Dampier. Dampier did not do much in the first half. Reggie Miller didn't do much, but his second half begins quickly. 15 seconds in, he makes a rainbow. Reggie now 2 for 7 from the floor. Indiana's opened up a 9-point lead. They are slowly pulling away. They began to open it up late in the first half, and they now push it out to 9.
And a 9-point lead against the Pacers is like a 15 or a 16-point lead for a lot of other clubs, because they're very stingy, and it's tough to get back in the game the way they play it.
Another good win for the Detroit Pistons as they beat the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. Another bucket for Reggie Miller. Utah keeps right on rolling as they win 106-95. Utah now with a 13-game winning streak. Orlando taking on Shaquille O'Neal for the first time since Shaq left him. And Penny Hardaway activated and playing in that game tonight at the Forum.
Reggie Miller comes around a baseline screen. You see Sprewell just at the last moment. It was a moving screen. That's why you saw Rick Adelman upset. But that's all it takes for Reggie to get going. Just a little bit of help. He's hit 2 in a row.
Joe Smith from the line tonight, 2 for 2. Make it 3 out of 3. Quick change for Indiana. Antonio Davis is in the game, and they pulled out Dampier. Dampier just picked up another foul. Eric Dampier has picked up 4 fouls in 11 minutes. Free throw shooting essential. The Warriors have missed 8 tonight, 14 of 22. Now they've missed 9 free throws. They're just not shooting well enough tonight from outside and from the line. Travis Best blocked by Felton Spencer cleanly.
Well, Travis had beaten Mark Price on the play, but Spencer comes in and denies. Travis Best having a tough time shooting tonight.
He missed a left baseline 15-footer on the quick inbounds pop. He's a good shooter, though, Travis Best. Mullen matching up with Antonio Davis, a switch here. And the Pacers roll it away. Antonio to Miller to Davis. He throws behind Travis Best, and the Warriors get it back on the Indiana turnover.
Well, they're very fortunate in that. That was an easy 2-on-1 play. And the Warriors now looking at a 10-point deficit. It could have been 12 very easily.
Offensive foul on Sprewell. They called him for pushing off after Reggie Miller caught him for Sprewell, his 3rd foul of the game. Next couple of moments are going to be very important. The Warriors need to get this game back in their direction. Right now it's been decidedly Indiana. Nobody's guarding Dale Davis at all. They get him late, but they have to foul him. Foul is on the Warriors inside. They get it on Spencer or Sprewell. No, it's on neither. It's on Chris Mullen. It's on Mullen. And that'll put Dale Davis on the free throw line. Dale is not a very good free throw shooter. Overall 49% this year. Lately a little better, but not that much better.
Watch as Davis slips to the basket. 2 men stay up top, and you got to get help inside. And it just comes too late because everybody's so concerned about blocking off the boards, but it doesn't hurt them as both free throws are missed.
52-42, Pacers by 10. 2 minutes into the second half. Warriors just can't get any action going to the basket. This is not going to be a good shot. Maybe it will be. No, there'll be no shot at all. The Warriors offensively are just not moving the ball quickly enough to combat this Indiana size and strength advantage. You have to move these people around.
And you've got to do it with passing. You can't do it with dribbling. Maybe Warriors will go back to the passing game a little bit.
Travis Best finally knocks one down. He is 2 for 7 from the floor. Best only 4 points tonight in his second year. Indiana a 14-3 run. And they open up a lead of 12 points.
Look at all the people in the lane. 5 jerseys were in the lane for the Pacers.
Price to miss, Spencer. And there's going to be a foul on Indiana inside here. It's on Derek McKee. For Derek, his second foul of the game. Felton Spencer will shoot 2 free throws. Conventional wisdom has it in the NBA that you need 3 scores to really be a championship caliber team, although Chicago may dispute that a bit after Jordan and Pippen. That third scorer is a little iffy, but they usually get a third guy every night, either Kukoc or Kerr or somebody. That's why Indiana feels that Derek McKee must become their third scorer, Jim. It's not enough to only have Miller and Smits. Listen, they need that third guy to be truly championship caliber.
But quit dreaming. This is his 10th year.
It's not going to happen.
I mean, forget it. I mean, he is not going to change his spots. He is just not an aggressive offensive performer.
Sprewell with Davis to beat. All the way in.
That was a bump. Now, first of all, Sprewell carried the ball. Secondly, he was bumped from behind and very nearly missed that. And I thought Bill Oakes should have blown the whistle. I really firmly believe that.
Rick Adelman's working on Oakes here, saying Davis rode him all the way in, and clearly he did with a free hand.
I'm surprised he made the shot, quite frankly.
McKee, a three-pointer, no. Rebound pulled by Felton Spencer. Here's Price. Joe Smith. Warriors needed that one. Warriors right back in the game. It is down to 6. They cut the 12-point Indiana lead in half. Timeout, Larry Brown. 8.5 to go, third quarter.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
Just a moment ago, the Warriors were down by 12. Mark Price knocks the ball away. And watch Sprewell. He's going to carry it right there. He takes a couple of steps, but then the bump. Now, neither were called, and Sprewell just got the basket. There's another look at the bump. That's a clear push. And from any angle, it was easy to call, but there was no whistle.
That is why physical basketball works, because if you bump enough, they let enough of the bumps go, it just becomes part of the game. Travis Best, no. Rebound, Dale Davis. Couple of tips, no. Rebound to Mullet. The Warriors a 6-0 run. They were down 54-42. And now it is 54-48. Dale Davis will pull it out. I think he almost traveled.
Well, you see McKee passed up a shot right there. I mean, and he's a pretty good shooter from that spot.
Miller lost the ball. The Warriors have responded in the last couple of moments when this game was teetering. They are very much in the game. Felton Spencer could not catch what looked to be a wide open path to the goal.
That should have been traveling on Antonio Davis. He slid along on his back.
Into Dale. He pushed off on Joe. Spencer fouls him. And it's his 4th foul of the game.
It was a good foul, though.
He was getting ready to dunk it. And Dale Davis is a very poor foul shooter.
at the other end. Well, let's take a look at Reggie Miller first as he takes it right into traffic. See, Sprewell's getting a lot of help. Felton was there, and so was Mullen.
Dale Davis, 49%er coming in. Career 52% free throw shooter. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Andrew DeClerc in. Felton Spencer with his 4th foul leads. Dale Davis in his 6th pro year, only 27 years of age. Antonio Davis is 28 years old. Reggie Miller's 31. You think about the Indiana Pacers, Jim, and you look at what the decisions that Donnie Walsh, their president, had over the summer. A lot of people theorize, let one of those guys go. You're not good enough right now. Why do you want to keep everybody at a cost of over $100 million in contracts? But they still have time here. These guys are getting better and better, and Reggie, in his early 30s, still has time. Mark Price. Oh, he missed that one badly.
Mark Price just cannot find the basket tonight. He is struggling from all spots on the floor.
He's 1 for 8 shooting tonight, Mark Price.
You know, the way they play in the East, they need this rugged front line. I think the Pacers have done a magnificent job of keeping everybody together. Look at what Davis does inside as he cleared out DeClerc just to clear a huge path for an entry pass.
And he's a much better player offensively than Dale. Don't confuse them. You know, Dale really is raw offensively and not very effective. Antonio Davis can do some things offensively. There's a nice pass by Travis Best for the dunk.
He cleared out so much that was a pass you could have made, Greg. Believe me, that was a big target there.
Out of bounds. Reggie Miller's already back playing defense. The Warriors think the ball was tipped. At least Adelman does, but no dispute from Sprewell. Reggie Miller's already in the offensive end, and he's right. It's Indiana's ball. Rick Adelman really working over referee David Jones. Here's Antonio. Has a good jump hook. This time he turns, faces, scores, and he'll go for a 3-point play. If you took him off this team, put him somewhere else, and asked him to play a little more and shoot a little more, Jim, he could be a very effective middle teens type of scorer.
He's worked on his offensive skills. He can face the basket and shoot, but he's got the bulk and good footwork inside. See how he gets position? He can get position on you. See, he waits, just comes to the middle. Now, that's a nice move. Doesn't look like a guy that comes off the bench.
Missed free throw for Antonio, and trying to take the rebound back. A foul has been called on the other Davis, Dale, his 3rd. Incidentally, they are not related, except in physique and basketball skill. Here's Price.
And Dale's a little taller than Antonio.
Joe Smith scores. 59-50. Indiana by 9.
Warriors finally get to that elusive 50-point total.
Antonio becoming the go-to guy. Missed. Rebound to Mullen. Indiana getting away from the Reggie Miller-Sprewell matchup, even though Reggie scored on him twice in a row to open this half.
See, they've already used up about 10 seconds now just to get the ball into operating position.
Mullen lost to Travis Best. Reggie Miller. And he's fouled by Sprewell. Immediately a timeout called by Adelman. Nice play by Travis Best, picking up that loose ball and getting it to Reggie Miller in time. Foul on it. Sprewell, his 4th of the game. Sprewell's in foul trouble.
It's a tough one, and right now, Rick Adelman, we could be facing a technical foul when we come back. We'll have to wait and see. Reggie Miller has a free throw coming.
No technical on Rick Adelman, Jim. George Irvin, who was a former head coach of the Indiana Pacers and a former assistant under Larry Brown, did some lobbying inside with the referees during the timeout.
Well, McKee's got those long arms. He poked it away. Now Miller, you see how he protected the ball? Sprewell thought he was going to expose it momentarily, but Reggie Miller, in all likelihood, will complete a 3-point play as he's going to go to the line. Now, Rick Adelman did not get a technical. This is the way we went to the break. Rick Adelman's still under control, and I say could be getting a technical. The game is not over yet, but I'll tell you what, it's been very physical. And, you know, not only is it tough for the Warriors to score, it's tough for them to even get shots.
And I think these are the 2 guys it affects the most. Mark Price and Chris Mullen. They are both basketball fundamentalists. They don't believe in this type of style. They don't do it defensively. When a player beats them, they don't push and grab and hold. But that's the way basketball's played in a lot of cities in America, and those in the Eastern Conference. It's played that way in New York. It's played that way in Indianapolis. It's played that way in Miami. Mark Price, in fact, has been held and grabbed and pulled so much. Looks like he has a bad hand. He heads back into the Warrior locker room with team orthopedist Dr. Mickey Krinsky. We'll get a report. Meantime, B.J. Armstrong is in. Mullen up over Reggie Miller. Cannot get one to fall. Mullen, the third best floor shooter in the league coming in, has missed 7 of 8 shots tonight. The Pacers turning it into 2 more points on the other end, scored by Travis Best. And now Indiana has a 14-point lead, their largest of the game.
Greg, you know what's amazing? This quarter, the Warriors have only attempted 9 field goals. Attempted 9 field goals.
Another turnover. Warriors have scored 9 points in this quarter.
They are 3 for 9 from the field right now, this quarter.
Another doubling Mullen. Well, Sprewell does not need much help. Dwayne Farrell, got to stay on him. He's in the game now. Farrell hurt the Warriors off the bench, scored 10 points in 13 minutes. Here goes Smith. Foul. He beat Antonio Davis, and then the help came to the person of Eric Dampier. The foul is called on Antonio. That's his second of the evening. Joe Smith just 2 rebounds tonight. Warriors have been out-rebounded 30 to 26. The inside game of Joe is just not where it was last year, and you can see it in 2 statistics, Jim. His floor shooting, first of all, is way down, 41% this year. He's taking a lot of outside shots. And the rebounding, although it's statistically up, he has not been the consistent rebounder he was a year ago.
But it's not the same situation for Joe Smith, and you touched on it a couple of weeks ago. He misses an inside scoring presence, which Ronnie Cycli did give you that dimension, so he could pick up a lot of offensive rebounds and get some easy putbacks.
Oh, this one will be of comedic proportions to the Warriors. Although the difference is that Andrew DeClerc pushed out in the middle of the lane with 2 hands. Everybody could see it.
What kind of year do you think Joe Smith would have if Hakeem Olajuwon were the center, or Patrick Ewing were the center, or Shaquille O'Neal? I mean, Joe Smith would probably get about 5 to 6 more rebounds per night, even though that guy's getting a lot of rebounds, because he'd get about 3 or 4 offensive putbacks. It's just very tough for him to share, carry the burden. And he's giving up 20 to 25 pounds against the matchup every night.
Antonio made both free throws. I don't think the Rockets are going to send Olajuwon this way, so that'll be pure speculation.
No, but the point is made.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Here's Joe Smith trying to get it done. Could not finish. Dampier clears the rebound. Farrell of Indiana takes it. Best up to Reggie.
See, he likes this. Sprewell does come over, so BJ's got to go clear across court to find his man. Spree says, thanks for the help, but I'll do it myself.
Sprewell the steal on the high Farrell pass. Now Mullen's got 4 blue shirts around him. He has to circle out. The fast break is blown apart.
Well, Sprewell took it right to where Mullen was, so one defender could defend 2. Too much traffic.
Good pass. DeClerc can't finish. Does on the tip in, though.
I'll tell you what, DeClerc was fouled on the play. He was fouled on the first one.
Timeout called by Larry Brown. That's why Andrew's smirking back at the referees. Where's the foul here? Pacers up 12. 2:43 to go, third quarter.
A penny saved is a penny earned.
By 12 here, deep into the third quarter. Join us Sunday at 8 o'clock, right after the Warriors take on the San Antonio Spurs. We'll have women's college basketball for you. The #1 ranked Cardinal of Tara Vanderveer will take on USF. 8 o'clock Sunday, right here on Sports Channel. Well, when Mark Price went back into the Warrior locker room, it looked like he had his jersey draped over his hand. Apparently, he was just holding his hand, and the injury is on his foot somewhere, and we are told that he's actually receiving x-rays right now on that foot. We have no further news, but Mark Price does not have a hand injury. It's a foot injury. Well, now we do have. Well, the report we just got erroneous. It's a bruised right wrist.
Yeah, he had a towel around the right wrist. He had a towel around his right wrist and right hand.
And that falls into the bad timing category. Could have held that note for one more second. You wouldn't have heard about the foot. It's his wrist. Speaking of wrist, Bimbo Coles will be returning very shortly, maybe as early as next game against the Spurs. He'll be our guest this week around the TV Roundtable. Tune in to Sports Channel this weekend. You'll hear Bimbo's thoughts about returning. I think Bimbo would fit in well in this type of game. Springwell scores. The Warriors need someone to rise above it, because the matchups are not favorable, but maybe one matchup could be. Springwell has 12, same total, scored by Reggie Miller. Here's Eric Dampier. Just 2 points. He's been foul-flagged all night. And he's in further foul trouble. Poor guy can't play tonight. 5 fouls. He may look like a veteran, Jim, but he's getting the rookie treatment tonight from the refs.
He already had deep position. He just shoved into the chest of Andrew DeClerc with the right shoulder and the right forearm.
Derek McKee is back in for the Pacers, and Dampier leaves. Dampier is 22, looks 32 years of age. Not like former Pacer Granville Waiters. Remember him out of Ohio State?
He was bald when he came in.
He came into the NBA, looked 50 years old, and he was a rookie. Who's that old guy you got on your team? 90 seconds to go, third quarter. Warriors having a hard time just beating their man, playing 2 individually. No shot here, 24-second violation. Rick Adelman really searching for options. That's the Warriors' 7th turnover this quarter. 7 in this quarter.
It's tough to devise an offense against this club, but I think they need to spread it out a little bit and then possibly have someone come up high and just start going back door since they're overplaying so much.
Warriors have scored 15 points this quarter.
That's a great move by Travis Best. That
was a finish.
I'll tell you, what a first step. I don't know what was better, the first step, the crossover, or the finish. Probably the finish.
Fouls on Andrew DeClerc. Well, you be the judge. What do you like best here?
I'll tell you what, he is a big scorer out of Georgia Tech.
I like the finish.
Yeah, does it look a little like a Nick Van Exel finish?
He was the starting point guard the first 2 games of the year. Jalen Rose back in. Antonio Davis leaves. Then he lost his job to Hayward Workman, and Larry Brown was all over Best. Said at the time, he's playing like he's 60 years old. He's scared to death out there. And then Hayward Workman tore his ACL. He's gone the year, so they had to go back to Best. Larry loves the guy. He's just very hard on guys he sees talent in. And Travis Best is one of those guys, and he's also been very hard on Jalen Rose all year. Travis Best really looks like he can be a very effective player. Good shooter, good defender, very quick with the dribble. B.J. Armstrong cannot beat him off the dribble tonight. B.J. has to force up a long shot. He missed it. 40 seconds to go in a Pacer-dominated third quarter. In fact, now they go back up. Well, now they have the largest lead of the game, in fact, at 15 points, 71-56.
Yeah, the way the Warriors are struggling to score, they should have gotten a quick shot here and traded 2 for 1, but they're not going to do that to finish the quarter. Look at this possession here, and McKee just pushes out on Joe Smith.
Oof. Mullen clanks. Jalen Rose will dunk it. Softly. Larry Brown saying, press, pick him up. Here's your last play of the third quarter.
Don't pick up the dribble in the corner. You're in the coffin corner. You go to the middle, and they call a jump. I said before, you're not going to dribble against this defense and have too many good opportunities.
.1 seconds remain in this third quarter. B.J. against the much taller Askew. Askew is 6'6". Tip won by B.J. Joe at the buzzer. Indiana outscored the Warriors 19-8 to close that third quarter.
That was a 15-point offensive production for the Warriors in the third quarter.
To 15, and they take a 7-point halftime lead and open it up to 17 as we enter the fourth quarter. That's the down news for you Warrior fans. The good news is David Robinson is not going to play here on Sunday night. As we check out our NBA notebook from Discover Card, that is good news for the Warrior hopes. Indiana without Rick Smith still able to endure, but San Antonio without David, they are miserable. They lost tonight in Vancouver to fall to 3-14. We'll have that game for you Sunday at 5 o'clock on Sports Channel. Warriors have a lot of work to do, and they have to do it immediately. Rick Adelman's going to turn to Ray Owes here. He's not played at all tonight, but he's going to begin this fourth quarter on the floor with Donald Royal and Joe Smith up front. Owes air balls right to Vincent Askew. Warrior backcourt is Armstrong and Sprewell. That's Dale Davis missing the dunk right at the rim. That was a nice alley-oop thrown by Jalen Rose. Sprewell a three. Nope. Dwayne Farrell, good tough rebound. Farrell doing more than just scoring. BJ tipped it and broke it up for Owes to intercept it. Derek McKee slaps it away against Royal. Sprewell a three, going to miss left and long. Rebound Owes, lost it. This team really defends inside, don't they? Larry Brown, though, is not happy with the way it's starting. So he's going to just call a 20-second timeout and get his guys together.
Can you believe it? He calls a 20-second timeout. Now Sprewell's missed 2 3-pointers. He's probably upset that he even got good looks at the basket.
And he's all over Jalen Rose.
Yeah,
he didn't like this outlet thrown by Jalen.
That's what I said earlier. Sometimes he gets a little wild, doesn't make the best decisions. And a moment before, now I don't know why Davis tried to dunk this ball, because look at, he's coming down. Now see, that was a good pass by Jalen Rose. But the decision by Dale Davis to try to dunk, he was coming down. He just simply should have thrown it up off the glass and tried to lay it in softly.
Not everybody can play for Larry Brown. He said about Jalen Rose earlier this year, his idea of guarding people, a little different than my idea of guarding people.
Well, that's a lot of young kids today.
Jalen misses the fade. Rebound retrieved by Farrell. Farrell's hurting the Warriors in a lot of aspects. He's rebounding well. He's not scored in the second half after 10 in the first half, but he's still playing well.
You saw that score a moment ago. Miami, who had won 9 in a row, it's payback time as the Heat went in and beat New York at home earlier.
Speaking of payback, Orlando against Shaq for the first time, Jim, but it's the Lakers who lead by 9 points. Owes is stopped but fouled by Derek McKee.
I like Rick Adelman bringing in Ray Owes. Somebody that can jump a little bit and maybe make something happen on the interior. Trouble is, the way the Pacers block off, they're one of the best teams in the league about blocking off the boards. The way they block off, sometimes being a leaper doesn't give you that much of an advantage because they're more position players.
Ray Owes has had some big nights for the Warriors this year. You may be wondering, why is he in the game so late? He's not played at all until this point. But in theory, you would think that Owes could not match up with this team. That power forward, Indiana, is just too big and brawn with the Davises. Those are the kind of players that give him trouble.
Well, right now he's on Derek McKee inside. That's a pretty good matchup for him.
That's how they're able to do it, as Dale Davis plays center here, and Antonio's not on the floor. Owes does pick up the foul, tangling with Derek McKee. Warriors are down 15 points. McKee misses once, twice.
I think Joe Smith got a piece of that one.
Warriors playing a little better defensively, but they need to pick it up offensively. They're down 15 points with less than 10 minutes to play. But a rough one for VJ. He cannot get inside against this group.
The point guards has simply been ineffective for the Warriors. Price to start the game and VJ coming in. Got one quick hoop. And since then, it's been a long drought, only the free throws. He's only had the one field goal he hit in the first couple minutes he was on the floor.
Royal all the way to the goal. Yes. All the Pacers are pointing the other way. What's the call? They waved it off. It's an offensive foul.
David Jones called offense. I thought Billy Oakes was calling a blocking foul on the play. Head of steam.
It's a good call. Charged. Royal clearly ran into Farrell, who was set, not moving at all. Could have called nothing there.
I'll bet you Billy Oakes was giving him the benefit of the doubt, though. Sometimes it gets that way. You know, the Pacers have only allowed a team to score 100 points or more twice this year. One of those was in overtime.
And you're not going to get 100 shooting 35% and turning it over a dozen times. And those are the Warriors' numbers tonight, and mustering up only 58 so far.
They'd be lucky to get 80. The way it's going right now, they'd be happy to get in the 80s. Something's got to change.
Donald Royal lost it on the way up. Here's Vincent Askew. Out to Travis Best. Best pulls the rebound.
Now, the Warriors have been to the line almost twice as many times as the Pacers tonight, but they just simply can't convert with field goals in possession.
Not a lot to talk about in this fourth quarter. Timeout Warriors. The Warriors have scored 2 points this quarter. Indiana scored nothing so far. We played 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Brian, the folks of Indianapolis are excited about their football team this year. Marshall Faulk and the Colts, a nice performance last night over the Philadelphia Eagles. They went all the way to the AFC Championship game last year, just barely beaten on that last bomb that failed. Travis Best with the palm, and the ball goes back over to the Warriors. Travis Best has had his good moments tonight, but he's also had his down moments. Only in his second year at Georgia Tech, he was Indiana's first-round pick, number 23, back in '95. Not a lot going on this quarter. We played 3.5 minutes. It's 2-0 Warriors.
Well, it speaks volumes about the defense, though, of Indiana. When you can go 0 for 8 and still maintain your lead like that. That just tells what defense does for you. It does it again. Even Reggie Miller in on the act.
Now Dale will catch it, then go up. Blocked by Rayos. Dale goes again. Nope. Davis on the line, where he's missed 3 out of 4 free throws tonight. Donyell Marshall will get his first opportunity tonight for Rick Adelman.
Watch the steal by Reggie. That's a clean steal, because if you hit the arm, the ball goes down. He knocked that ball away. I thought the mistake here was he threw an alley-oop pass looking for a dunk, and it just went too far under the basket for Dale Davis.
Reggie Miller really plays hard. The first thing you think of when you think of Reggie Miller is shoot. 3-pointers, bombs all over the place. But although he's not nearly as gifted as Sprewell defensively, Jim, he does not back down.
No.
He comes at you like a tiger.
He's a competitor. And why shouldn't he be? He's from Riverside, California.
Now they're all soft down there, aren't they? Where'd you go to school?
Riverside, California.
Excuse me.
Thank you for asking.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Dusty Baker, too.
I know.
Same high school as Reggie Miller. Riverside Poly. Another guy from Riverside went to the same high school as Reggie Miller. A guy named Bob Rule, if you remember him. He played 7 or 8 years in the league.
I remember him.
Real tough guy, about 6'7", 6'8". Played at
Did Cheryl Miller go to Riverside also?
Of course.
Oh, maybe your parents moved one day.
Well, they've been there forever.
74-58. Dalton Spencer. Out to PJ off the rim. Out of bounds off of Donyell Marshall. Indiana ball. Reggie Miller has a brother, also was a very good baseball player, played with the California Angels a number of years. The Warriors are 0 for 13 beyond the three-point line. You said it very early in the game tonight, Jim. The Warriors are going to have to shoot from outside to have success tonight. 0 for 13. I guess they're not shooting off from outside.
It just doesn't cut it. Because you knew that the outside shots were going to be very important, because there wouldn't be a lot of good looks inside. And that's an understatement. Reggie loves this matchup with Spree.
Everybody bemoans the defense being played in the NBA, but boy, if you want to build a championship team, you've got to play defense like these guys play it, like Seattle plays it, like the Bulls play it. And then you have one guy or two guys that can just be your sniper, and he's that guy.
Reggie just put a move on Spree on that one. A little wiggle and a squiggle and a little rocker step to the right. He just simply lost him. The first time all night, he's completely lost him.
That three didn't even hit the rim. Timeout. Rick Adelman has a lot to talk about. 6:44 to go. The Warriors have scored 2 points in this entire quarter. Warriors will take on the San Antonio Spurs on Sunday night at 5 o'clock. David Robinson will not play in that game. We'll have that for you on Sports Channel. And then the Warriors will go east for the first time this year. We'll have all 3 games for you on Channel 5. Tuesday from Toronto, Thursday from the world's most famous arena. And then Friday night from the Gun. Warriors 0 for 14, Jim. Donyell Marshall not close to number 1 from beyond the three-point line. 1 for 26 the Warriors are over the last 2 games from beyond the three-point line. They had a very poor three-point shooting game in Phoenix, making this 1 of 12. And the only one made was by Joe Smith. Indiana, they can't score either in this quarter. What's the lowest scoring quarter in NBA history combined? 18 points. The 2 teams have scored 5 points in the first 6 minutes of play in this quarter. 3 for Indiana, 2 for the Warriors. Foul on the floor. The block was clean, but the foul ensued later on the scrambled off the floor called on Travis Best, his 4th foul of the game. Mark Price's x-rays from the locker room are negative on the bruised right wrist, but I doubt he'll be back at all tonight. Here's a steal. Dale Davis can't get that alley-oop down, can he?
Well, he's determined to get one. It's the tip in.
He's no R.C. Owens, is he?
Maybe they shouldn't throw it to him, Jim. What do you well, maybe they need Y.A. Tittle.
20-point game. It is highly doubtful the Warriors will score 20 points. Let's see. They get about 16 minutes and score 20. BJ get a 4 this quarter. Mock applause from the crowd here.
You know, I'm really amazed at you, Greg, and I'm pleased, too, because you're almost 20 years younger than I am, but you still go back and have history with all sports, and I really admire that and really like it, because a lot of people don't know who Y.A. Tittle or R.C. Owens is. In this area they do, but around the nation, particularly even in this area, guys who are 32, 34 years of age don't know. And probably people are saying right now, who cares?
Just tell me about Chris Mullin and Vincent Askew. Fouls on Askew. R.C. Owens, for those of you who don't know, this is Todd Fuller, by the way. He's a Warrior rookie coming into the game, and Felton Spencer's out. R.C. Owens, the great wide receiver of the Niners, the first guy to make the line alley-oop famous. They used to throw him the high ball. He'd go up and pull it down like a rebound.
Speaking of looking older than you really are, Y.A. Tittle was bald at a very early age also. Old number 11.
Now, wait a minute. You're saying I look older than I am?
No, I was thinking, we were talking about Eric Dampier, and we were talking about Granville Waiters.
I guess. I'm a little sensitive at my age these days. 78-62. Who's the first guy in the NBA to finish off the alley-oop? You know?
Probably
Reggie Miller. What a shot that was. He's not the answer to my question, but that was a nice shot, wasn't it?
I would think the first guy alley-oop was obviously Wilt Chamberlain. He used to guide the ball in the basket. They had to change goaltending rules because of him.
Mullin gets inside on Askew. Good play. Warriors needed more of that tonight. Donyell Marshall threw it inside to Chris Mullin, cutting through. For Mullin, his second basket of the game. He's 2 for 10. Warriors 34% shooting. Travis Best with 3.
He is not shy, this young man. As you mentioned, he's their second leading scorer. Not a great three-point shooter this year. This guy, though, can shoot it from all angles. Now he's getting creative. After he made this shot, he looked right over at the Warriors bench.
They don't have any big-time movie producers over there, but he wanted to make a statement.
Yeah, just a little stare down.
And he was worried early in the game, Reg. He knew it was going to be a tough one with Sprewell locking up. Sprewell may be the most difficult guy he has to deal with. And again, Reggie Miller was quoted many, many times this summer when he was going through his contract talks with both the Pacers. The Knicks made some overtures his way. He claimed, "I am the second best off guard in the NBA behind his airness." Todd Fuller travels inside.
Well, he knew it was physical in the ACC, but I don't think he's seen this kind of physical play too often. He did with Shaquille, he did with the Knicks possibly.
4 minutes to play.
This is as physical as I've seen it, Greg, this whole year on the inside.
More than Miami, more than New York.
The defensive intensity is pretty incredible.
Miller in the open floor. Mullen. Well, Mullen's going to say, you know what, I hate playing this way, but the hell with you guys. If you're going to push me and shove me and grab me all night, I can do it.
You know, I like this play by Mullen. This is picking your pocket from behind. Reggie Miller did it, and then Mullen just gave a little yank on the jersey of Travis Best, and I like that.
That's exactly what he was saying, right?
You're very frustrated. You just say, what the heck? You won that one. Right now, they're looking at a 16-point deficit. Coming back in a minute.
Not everybody's balloon has been punctured tonight. Let's check out our Fremont Ford play of the game. Travis Best and Reggie Miller combined. Very nice play by both of Indiana's starting guards.
A little threading of the needle inside to Mullen, but then he gets picked from behind. Out to Reggie. He saw Sprewell coming, and that led to a three-point play.
He's out, Reggie says. A moment ago, Dwayne Farrell back live missed a 15-footer in the right baseline. The Warriors the rebound. Danielle, no. Todd Fuller, yes. Warriors have scored 10 points this quarter. 66 for the game. A week from tonight, the Warriors are going to be in Cleveland, Jim. That's going to be a tough game to score points in. Cavaliers have been really difficult. The best defensive team in the NBA numerically. Nice play by Miller to step inside of Mullen. Sprewell's still out there, but he's not guarding Reggie. Is there a switch here? Mullen's guarding Reggie, and Sprewell's guarding Travis Best. Warriors got 64 on Cleveland last year in Cleveland.
I was looking
out of the phone.
I knew it was low, but I couldn't quite.
We saw you going through the book. We talked about that today on the TV roundtable. Eric Dampier going to come back in. Foul plagued tonight. 14 minutes, 5 fouls. He's back in for the end of it with 2:35 to go. Antonio Davis never got back into the game. He suffered a mild left ankle sprain in the third quarter, and they never needed him really to play much in the fourth. Now Dale's gone. Dale a double-double tonight, 12 points, 11 rebounds, double D with a double-double.
You know, you're ready for this. The last time the Warriors beat the Cavs, anywhere, home or away, 1991-92. That's the year they finished 65-27. The Cavs have won 8 straight games against the Warriors. And last year, by the way, 64 one game. The high they got was 80 against that club.
Dwayne Farrell tips it out. Latrell Sprewell is going to be done for the evening. BJ in, Lou Rowe in, Mullen's out. Mullen leaves, 2 for 10 shooting, just 8 points. Sprewell 5 for 13 shooting. For Sprewell, only 12 points.
Well, it's not from lack of effort. They just ran into a juggernaut tonight.
Joe Smith, the Warriors' top scorer tonight, with 15 points. Indiana emptying their bench now. They bring in the mayor, Fred Hoiberg, second-year pro out of Iowa State. Rayo scores on the turn. Hoiberg playing in the backcourt alongside Jerome Allen. Hoiberg steps out of bounds. Jalen Rose back in. Vincent Askew will leave for Larry Brown. Indiana Pacers will level their record at 8-8. They now have a 5-game winning streak. And for the first time in their NBA history, the Pacers in a row on the road. They lost their first 4 road games this year. They will go 3-0 on this road trip. Wins at Portland, Vancouver, and now here. And they have 3 more games to play. Phoenix, Utah, and the Lakers. Phoenix won tonight. They beat the Sacramento Kings in sack. They are back, Jim.
Yep, they're back. I'm not surprised at that. Yeah, this could be a very productive road trip for the Indiana Pacers. 6 on the road here. Win the first 3.
Although the next 3 are going to be tough. Phoenix, Utah, and the Lakers. They could easily lose all 3 of those. BJ out of the corner. Rough night for Armstrong. Fuller back out to BJ. Even rougher. That is the Warriors' 15th miss from beyond the line. They are 0 for 15. BJ over the end line. If the Warriors do not make a 3-pointer tonight, they are either going to set or tie an NBA record. Jalen Rose scores.
Most 3-pointers attempted and none made.
Yes. 0 for 15, the previous mark set by the Houston Rockets back in 1991. The Warriors tonight are 0 for 15 from the 3-point line.
And they all haven't been contested from out there. They've had some pretty good looks at it. I'll tell you, when it goes bad and goes south for you, it seems like they do it as a group. Well, you know the old adage, you win as a team, you lose as one. They've certainly lost as a team tonight. And they did that in Phoenix, too.
What a very up and down week for this team. They've had some great moments. They've had some hideous moments. Rayo's fouled with 55 seconds to go. This loss will drop the Warriors to 6-13. 4-7 here at the San Jose Arena. Warriors lost 6 of their first 7 here, won 3 in a row. Now this loss will drop them to 4-7. San Antonio will be the opponent on Sunday night. A very much needed game Sunday now in light of David Robinson not playing. And it's off on the road for 3 difficult games. That Toronto game will not be easy on the road.
What's going to be difficult, I don't know the seriousness of Mark Price's injury, but if he doesn't play and Bimbo Coles isn't back yet, instead of a guard crew that Rick Adelman had the luxury of looking at 4 players in different combinations to use out there, it gets pretty slim.
Price injured his right wrist. X-rays negative. Bimbo told us today around the roundtable he can come back Sunday. So if Price's injury is so severe he can't play Sunday, I think he'll definitely see Bimbo back. Fuller with the hook. 34% shooting for the Warriors and 0% beyond the line. Looks like that will tie an NBA record. Off of Jalen Rose, tipped out by Daniel Marshall. We have 18 seconds to go. Indiana's 8-8 now. The Warriors are 6-13. Indiana hopes to get Rick Smits back maybe as early as next week. Nice catch by Jerome Allen. Feats Hoiberg, the mayor, with 3.5 seconds to go.
Hoiberg's a big scorer out of Iowa State. Once hit 8 3-pointers in a game. But speaking of 3-pointers, Warriors couldn't manage one tonight. Reggie Miller, well, they really didn't need his offensive production. The defense was spectacular for Indiana.
A dubious Warrior NBA record tonight. That is a franchise record and an NBA record for the Warriors. They tie the NBA record. We'll come back and talk more about it, but now let's head back to the studios and check in with Brian.